We are here at CCW Game of War, and I'm here with the strong style hooligan, Danny Briggs. How are you doing today?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm very good. So we know that you have a very extensive background in wrestling, but you also come from the European wrestling scene.
Yep.
You're British, quite
Yep.
obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
So how was the transition for you from the British wrestling to the American wrestling?
Growing up, obviously, there was a lot of British guys I watched, like Fit Finlay, William Regal, Dave Taylor, Mark Rocco, Pete Roberts, like some of the greatest names in British wrestling. But obviously at the time, Sky Television became really big when I was six or seven, one of the two. And that was when we got Wrestling Challenge and Wrestling Superstars and stuff like that, which was the American wrestling. So every Saturday I would watch it with my cousin. And so I was introduced to the American wrestling as well as British wrestling at that time. I was traditionally trained in British wrestling and then slowly but surely started to work a lot of guys that came over from the States to England. So adapting to the style was pretty easy, and just wrestling's a universal language. So a headlock is a headlock, wrist lock is a wrist lock, you know. So it's just, again, the British style is rounds based. So it would be, you'd have 5 2-minute rounds, or 5 3-minute rounds, or 10 5-minute rounds and stuff like that. So obviously you would have a certain amount of time. Bell would ring, take a break, come back in. Yeah. So obviously the main transition I had to make was just the matches would just go all the way through. But so it was a challenge at first to wrap my head around it, but then after a while it was easy.
And you present a style known as strong style, which Britain is known for, but there's also Japanese strong style. Yep. There's some variations to that. So what makes it distinctive? How would you describe it?
One of the greatest proponents of strong style wrestling, which a lot of people don't realise, was Hulk Hogan, which the fighting spirit, the kicking out, the never giving up, that's the essence of strong style. You keep going no matter what. So many people think strong style is just big move, kick out, big move, kick out, big move, kick out. It's so much more than that. But then you've got strong style, especially in Japan, that you have the Japanese strong style, but then you've also got the King's Road style, which are two very, very different things. I prefer King's Road style. But you had British strong style, which is obviously Pete, Trent and Tyler, and that's their thing. Being the fact that I'm a football fan or soccer fan,
Football.
For America, soccer fan. So my whole thing was I wanted to create something that was different, because there's not really anyone in America that's come from England that has presented a football hooligan persona, gimmick, whatever you want to call it. So being that a lot of people have like, oh, well, you're strong style, and it's like, I am, but I'm not. You know, I make my work as believable as possible. As long as one person leaves any show I'm on and goes, damn, like, I swear he was, I swear his stuff was real. As long as I had one fan leave, I've done my job. That's all I ever wanted to do when I got into wrestling. I wanted people to believe that what I did was real. The guy that really gave me the bug and wanted me to become a professional wrestler, and I don't like to say it now, but I'm going to say it anyway, was Chris Benoit. His style was so believable, and the amount of times I would watch his matches and I would question, I was like, well, I thought wrestling was, I thought it was rehearsed. It was, So he always brought me into it, and that was what I wanted to try and convey. Guys like Benoit, Fit Finlay, Mark Rocco, literally who's who of like the best wrestlers ever. So I always want to try and get that point across. So being a football hooligan is a way of doing that. So that's where strong style hooligan.
Oh, that's very interesting. And you did have a run in NXT. You did hold the tag team titles with Oney Lorcan. So would you say the NXT run was overall a positive experience for you?
Yes. I was there for 4 years. I mean, it was the second time I was there. The first time I did absolutely nothing the first time. Got a much better chance the second time. Did it end how I wanted it to? Of course not. There was a lot of things that I wanted to do that I didn't get the chance to do. But overall, the 4 years I was there for, I had a blast. It was fun. Had some great matches. The match at TakeOver Chicago, still one of my favourite experiences I've ever had. Still haven't watched the match back because I know I'm going to rip it apart and I'll say that I didn't do this and I didn't do that. But the end of that match, to have turned the crowd for our favour is one of the greatest nights I've ever had in wrestling. And to cap it all off, we won the tag titles. Yeah. We had the run with Pat. and Pat McAfee's one of the nicest guys. He's such an awesome bloke. So to be able to do that, and they've made a video game. It's something that, when I first got into wrestling, next month will be 21 years, so my wrestling career is officially old enough to drink next month. To say that when I first started wrestling, to be like, you're going to be in a video game, you're going to be on a trading card, you're going to be in programs, you're going to be in posters, you're going to be on national TV, you're going to work a spot with a guy who is super good in the NFL and has one of the most successful talk show stuff that he does now, and now he's on ESPN every single day. I pinch myself at that because, I'm just a kid from London, never expected anything like that. So, yes, it was a great time. Sucks that it ended the way it did. Yeah. But it is what it is. But yeah, it was great, yeah.
With NXT and WWE, would you say it's a door that's still open for you?
It's probably not something I would want to go back to, just for personal reasons. I'm not going to go into that. But at the end of the day, right now, I'm having the most amount of fun I've had in a very, very long time. So I am very happy doing what I'm doing right now. Would I like to go back to some place that has TV and a bigger platform? Of course. But I'm not in a rush to do it.
And you are in CCW right now, and like you said, you're having some amazing matches. Yep. You're the backbone of CCW pretty much right now. So how did a kid from London, like you said, end up in CCW in Florida?
Well, so funnily enough, my girlfriend, who is out of frame right now,
who's a great referee, by the way.
She is a fantastic referee. So at this point in time, I didn't know if I was going to wrestle again, because obviously when I got released, I was still out injured with my shoulder, and I still wasn't cleared, and I didn't really have a clearance date in sight as to if I was going to be good. So I had no idea what I was done, and I was very, very down, very depressed and stuff like that, and I couldn't watch wrestling, and I was just like, nah, I'm out, I'm done. And she went, hey, come to a show. And she dragged me along to a show, and I really didn't want to go. And she was like, just come, it'll be fine. Just come. So I went to the show, and it was a CCW show in Ocala, and it gave me the bug again. So here we are 2.5 years later, I think. When was that? October 2022, and that was when I got the bug again. And I then got cleared in December of 22, and then I came back January 23, and it was a rough start because I was still very concerned about my shoulder, and I wasn't too sure if I could deliver on what I used to be able to do. And slowly but surely the confidence came back, and if it wasn't for the authority Eddie Torres, I probably wouldn't have found that confidence. So here we are, having a blast. So.
And you can tell when the wrestler enjoys where they are,
yes.
And it's as a viewer, I can tell you they can tell.
Good, that's perfect.
And you have been doing some AEW appearances lately as well.
Yes.
Is that something that you're also wanting to pursue long term, or are you just happy with CCW and you're just here but taking opportunities when they arise?
I would love that opportunity to pursue that. We just can only see what happens, It's not one of those things where it's okay, yeah, it's set in stone, come next week. It's just, so if hopefully the opportunity presents itself again, and if it is, I'll make sure I'm ready.
Do you have any next big goal that you have set, I really want to wrestle for this promotion or this venue or for this title, or are you just taking things one step at a time?
Yeah, I mean, I have stuff that I want to check off that I haven't done. I've never wrestled in Japan. I've wrestled a lot of guys from Japan. I had the privilege of wrestling the Great Muta back in 2007. So I would love to go to Japan and just hear the distinct Japanese ring bell, the gong, and just to be in Kurikan Hall and stuff like that. That's something I would really love to do. I'm just a wrestler. Unfortunately, it's all I've got. It's all I know. So I just want to keep on kicking as long as I can.
It might be a bit of a profound question, but like you said, you've been in wrestling for over 20 years now. What would you say is the key, quote unquote, to this longevity? Because a lot of people don't last this long and they lose a spark, or they get injured, or they get too banged up. What's the key to staying in the industry for so long?
You have to love it. Because the crazy stuff we do, if you tell the average person, oh yeah, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to take this, and you're going to be working your ass off, and you're going to be traveling up and down the country, and you don't know if it's ever going to lead anywhere, but you can only hope it does, and you only hope that you catch the attention of someone. So it's like, when you tell people that, they're like, and you're doing this, why? But it's, again, if your only goal is to make it to TV, that's great. but I think that's very short-sighted. You know, you have to want to be a professional wrestler. And again, there's guys now that get snapped out of college playing football or baseball, whatever like that, or gymnastics, and then they go straight to the performance center. That's fantastic. And, you know, I hope it works out for them. Just because it didn't work out for me at the performance center doesn't mean it's not going to work out for anybody else. And I always tell people that. So if that is your goal, pursue it with everything you have. You have to, if that is your goal, you have to literally breathe, eat, sleep, and, you know, you have to absorb everything you can. My advice for anyone that wants to do this and you know, to last a while, you have to know your basics. You have to know how to protect yourself at all times. You have to look after your body. You have to, because at the end of the day, we've only got one body. Don't be so willing to want to bounce up and down on your head on huge bumps, because again, we've only got one body, and there's only so many bumps you can take before your bump card gets completely clocked out. So just, you know, be careful, find a good school, find someone who is a good trainer who has done something. Well, not necessarily done something. Find a trainer that actually knows what they're doing. Find a who's who of who they have produced, because if they've produced names, then you know that school is legit. So just be careful and just understand it's a marathon, not a sprint. That was one of the biggest things that was one of the mistakes I made. I was trying to sprint to that finish line of getting to NXT, and I think maybe I look back now and maybe I should have taken just slowed it down a little bit and explored other options. But hey, I was there, so it was fun. So yes, be safe, be smart, don't kill yourselves. That's, you know, just be safe. And above all, no matter how long you get in this for, or anything like that, have fun. Have fun. Stop and appreciate the small things. There's a lot of times where I was in a lot of different places in a lot of different countries, and I didn't take one picture because I was so focused on we got to get to the venue, we got to get to the show, we got to do this, we got to do that. I didn't stop and appreciate where I was, and that's again the stuff that I can't go back and take pictures of now. So, but just appreciate the journey, because the final destination may not work out. So yeah.
Absolutely wise words.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and
you're
excited
welcome.
to see where the
Thank
journey
you so
takes you
much.
next.
Thank you. Brilliant. Thanks a lot.